Starscream disguised as Optimus, a truck mode replicating the not yet released alt mode of Energon Universe Prime. One of a kind G1 inspired design. It's all here and more in this week's spotlight of the MD-005 Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime KO, only at Heroic Nonsense. Let's go. I truly wasn't in the market for the MD-005 Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime KO. It just wasn't something I was looking for, especially already having the official Studio Series 86 Optimus in our collection. But when I came across a Transformers collectibles store at a flea market I randomly came across, I just couldn't resist getting this figure. To be honest, deep down, I had wanted a second SS86 Optimus for our collection, specifically for our boys to be able to play with without worrying about it breaking, but also because we ended up having the bad luck of getting the Hasbro Optimus with the incorrectly assembled feet. The clincher for me though was all the bonuses this version of Optimus comes with. Megatron's arm and fusion cannon from the recent Skybound comic run, Starscream's head, wings, and intakes inspired from the G1 cartoon, multiple different heads based off of different iterations of Optimus throughout the G1 cartoon and 86 movie, and so much more. For a non-official release, the figure is surprisingly high quality, so let's roll out and see what this Optimus has to offer. Alright, here it is. Let's open it up together and see what's inside. Alright, so looks like another box. The exact same box. I heard that they didn't package it in a kind of nice package with an image of the product and all the accessories. It's basically just this. But I guess that's one way to save money. So let's pull out the package inside, and it looks like it's nicely packaged. You have Optimus and the trailer, and it looks like there's a couple of levels of this. So what's inside? We have roller and that piece that attaches to the inside of the trailer, kind of laser platform, and then all the extra bonuses this figure comes with. And there is a lot. You can see Starscream's wings, you can see some windows, Starscream's air intakes, Megatron's arm, some lasers, laser effects, heads, a lot in here. That Starscream head looks amazing. It looks like it's Masterpiece or the SS86 type. And let's see the man of the hour himself, or bot of the hour, Optimus Prime. And from what it looks exactly like the SS86 Optimus we already have. Feels like him too. Like good weight, solidly built. Let's see what the trailer looks like. And minus the Autobot symbols on the trailer and the arm, yeah, these feel like the original. And so far they look great. Now, if I hadn't told you this Optimus Prime was a KO, you'd be hard pressed to think it was anything but an official Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. I knew it looked incredible from the little I saw before getting it, but I was completely blown away with how good the figure actually was. Extremely high quality, well built, and a complete note-for-note replica of the original. With only a slight difference in the finish, the original SS86 Optimus being shinier, there really isn't anything I can point to distinguish this bot from the official version. As far as quality and how well built it is, let's look at it together. From what I can see, the resistance is really good. It's tight, it moves well, doesn't feel loose or like it's going to get loose at some point. Everything rotates, swivels. The legs feel tight as well. Yeah, the flaps look like they move independently. Yeah. Knee joint, same. Nice and strong. Not loose at all. Let's see the other leg. Same kind of resistance, which is a good resistance. Looking at the back. Yeah, everything looks exactly as I would think. Oh, even the stacks here are a little bit tighter, which is something I actually had a problem with on my original SS86 one, which is a bit loose. So yeah, one of these is the original Studio Series 86 release, and the other is the MD-005 version. From head to toe, paint and plastic included, the MD-005 for all intents and purposes is SS86 Optimus. What I find even more incredible is that it actually has some improvements over the original, specifically at the upper legs where MD Optimus actually has plates that cover up the line gap down the middle. Every angle is essentially an exact replica, minus a few extra connector points like here on the lower arms, which are used to attach Starscream's lasers. I also find the silver finish to be shinier in the MD-005 version, a bit hard to see here though. The backs are generally the same across the board as well, with another minor win for MD Optimus. Check out the upper arm plates that cover up the spaces for the screw holes. Looks so much better, even if only a small upgrade. You have the option of putting on two different types of window plates, the original clear blue version you can see on the left, and the more cartoon type version on the right. We haven't permanently put ours on yet because we haven't decided which we want to go with. Apparently once you put them on, they're pretty much in there for good, so choose wisely. You get the clear and cartoon panels for both the front and side windows. A third upgrade, you don't see those thin gaps beneath the window plates like you do with the Studio Series 86 version. And thankfully, you also get the chest that opens to reveal the removable matrix, same proportions and all. In the end, if you miss the original Studio Series 86 version or just want a second for your display or to play around with, and you come across this one, you cannot go wrong with the MD-005 Optimus release. Alright, so now let's put on Megatron's arm. So what you have to do is just pull out the arm piece like this, lift out the arm, it comes out, pops out really easily, and then you can see same configuration for the Megatron arm. You slide it in and push the whole piece back into the body frame, and that's it. I mean, it fits back in perfectly, moves the same way. You can see the tab over there for Megatron's fusion cannon, and yeah, otherwise it looks perfect. Let's just grab Megatron's cannon over here and just grab it out of the package and slot it right in. And yeah, that's it. You actually end up with a now iconic version of Optimus from the Skybound comic book series of Transformers, where Optimus appropriates Megatron's arm and fusion cannon for himself and attaches them to his body, which you can 100% accurately replicate here. And wow, does it look amazing. For those of you who can't wait for the official release coming out in October 2026, this is your chance to get him now with this awesome option. I was a bit bummed that the Canon MD-005 comes with is actually the version that comes with Earthrise Megatron and not Studio Series 86 Megatron. However, based on the official images of Energon Universe Optimus, it looks like that cannon isn't the Studio Series 86 version either. The arm fits on seamlessly and quite easily, and when combined with the blast effects and Optimus's laser that comes with MD-005 Optimus, you end up with an incredible display. I absolutely love this bonus, and to be honest, was likely going to pass on the Energon Universe upcoming release, so I'm really happy we now have a chance to recreate this look in our collection. As I showed earlier, all it takes to add this on is to open this part up, pop out the Optimus arm, and slide in the Megatron one. You can actually open up the arm like this on the Hasbro version as well, which I suspect was done in anticipation of the Energon Universe release, and means you can potentially do the same thing with your baseline SS86 Optimus, which I wasn't ready to risk trying yet. As for how the arm compares to Studio Series 86 Megatrons, it's definitely a different styled arm, being a bit less detailed than the SS86 version. The cannon is also different. It will be interesting to see how closely the Hasbro version arm compares with SS86, though I suspect it will be different enough so that it can fit into the SS86 Optimus mold as well. Now if that wasn't enough, wait till you see what's next. Starting with popping off Optimus's head. And surprisingly and happily, it comes off pretty easily. And Starscream's head fits on fairly easily as well. I was actually really concerned about that. I did not want to break this figure. Now we're going to grab the wing. So you can see here there's a tab. And the wing just slots right in and it stays actually nice and snug. And then we're going to do the same on this side. Just slot it in. You can see it kind of swivels back and forth and also can go in and out a bit. Next, we'll grab Starscream's lasers, which slot in right over here. So you can see it just fits right in. Also, again, fits in really nicely, not loose at all. I left Megatron's arm in this case on, but that's fine. The other laser fits the same. And then right here, we're going to put in the last part, which is his air intakes from his jet mode. And they slot in right where they're supposed to. And there you have it. Starscream pretending to be Optimus. And while we're here, let's just grab this little piece, which represents Optimus Prime's battle damage from the 1986 movie. There's a little tab on the back portion of it, which then just slots right into the side, and you have this very realistic looking addition to your Optimus. So now you have probably my favorite version of this Optimus, the unmasked version of Starscream from the G1 cartoon episode Megatron's Master Plan, sporting a very masterpiece looking Starscream head sculpt, as well as Starscream's wings, intakes, and lasers, all slightly scaled up to fit the aesthetic of this leader class size figure. I actually can't believe how good this figure looks this way. I absolutely love it. And while the G1 episode didn't include an image of Starscream's wings, I love that they included this option here. In a way, you're really getting a second figure here, a non-transforming version of Starscream that doesn't look like it was unrealistically mashed together. The head sculpt is just perfect, basing the design off of the more recent cartoony takes on the Seeker heads, with the wings having the more swept back look used with Earthrise, but larger. You can even push the wings back like you can with Earthrise Seekers to create different looks depending on your preferences, similar to how I've done it here for the right wing. There really are some great poses you can place him in, which totally gives off Starscream vibes. Although I primarily wanted MD-005 for the Megatron Arm, I think I may actually want to keep Optimus posed this way. Definitely going to go back and forth between the two. You can really see here how great SS86 Starscream Optimus looks next to the recent updated Studio Series 86 Seeker design, using the only one released to date, Thundercracker, for comparison. In a way, you can get Studio Series 86 Starscream now before it's even been announced. Since Studio Series Optimus is a much larger bot, this version of Starscream is a bit bigger than his brothers. However, he generally has the same look, with the wings leaning more towards the Earthrise design rather than the new SS86 version. Barely noticeable though. The heads are almost identical and are both based off of the G1 cartoon look, which I much prefer for this MD-005 release. The air intakes on Optimus' shoulders are much less detailed than SS86 Thundercracker's, but pretty much an exact reproduction from the cartoon, which also had no detail. With Earthrise Starscream in the mix, you can see how the wings are exact replicas of that mold, while the head is much closer to the new SS86 Seekers. Gotta love that smirk they gave Starscream in the MD-005 release. As for the lasers, they're all pretty close to each other, but the MD-005 design is quite obviously the Earthrise design. Not noticeable at all if you're not looking for it. The lasers are smaller and can't be replaced with either Earthrise or SS86 versions, as the connectors are not pegs but slots instead. If you really want to, especially if you want that Autobot symbol front and center, you can add Starscream's wings to your Studio Series 86 Optimus, as they use the same pre-existing slots. Unfortunately, Starscream's shoulder intakes and weapons don't fit in as they do on MD-005, though a bit of elbow grease could potentially get them into the slots on SS86 Optimus' shoulders. And finally, Earthrise Starscream's crown actually fits over MD-005's head, though it doesn't slot in place, which means it can easily fall off when moving the figure around. The final huge bonus is all the Optimus heads he comes with, 3 additional ones to be exact. Hard to say which ones they're truly inspired by, but I believe they're generally inspired from the 86 movie and the more rounded G1 cartoon and toy versions. This is definitely the one I wanted most, a battle damage head that you can easily use to recreate the Optimus vs Megatron scene from the 86 movie, as well as the battle damage Optimus from the comic where he loses his arm. The final bonus accessory that I showed earlier, a side panel that easily attaches to Optimus's waist, reproducing the damage Optimus received from that shard Megatron launched at Optimus, which ultimately led to his death in the 86 movie. Now onto the truck mode, which also comes with a Studio Series 86 trailer, minus the Autobot symbol, which is amazing considering you get all the other accessories we just reviewed as well. The cab is exactly the same cab from the Studio Series release using the same transformation. The Megatron Arm can remain on Optimus even in his alt mode and integrates quite nicely. What to do with Megatron's fusion cannon when Optimus transforms? Well, it fits on nicely right here over the cab to give Optimus some major added firepower, which actually looks quite good. Adding on that major blast effect that comes with MD-005, and you have a totally new display idea using Optimus for your collection. One thing I hadn't realized when I got this version was that we'd likely not be able to place Megatron's cannon in this position as an exhaust stack like I've done here, which I really wanted to be able to do after seeing the images of Energon Universe Optimus. Obviously, I was able to find a way, which is probably not how the official version will work, but in my opinion still looks great. The previous image used the SS86 cannon, while this uses the cannon MD-005 comes with, both working perfectly. You can also place SS86 Megatron's cannon over a tab on the actual leg if you prefer, lining that cannon up more flush with the cab, though it doesn't work with the MD-005 cannon. I prefer the Earthrise cannon tabbed into the mechanism I came up with, which I personally think looks great from all angles. All it takes is to open up this tab on Megatron's arm and partially rotate out the piece inside, which is technically used to recreate Megatron's exact look in bot mode, and which luckily has a round slot that perfectly fits the tab on Megatron's cannon. Now I don't know if the official release will have a similar mechanism, though I suspect it won't, but in this case everything lines up perfectly. What you end up with is an awesome cannon based extra large exhaust stack that just looks so cool in this mode, gives Optimus a very dirty industrial look to him, which again looks great from any angle and lines up perfectly flush against his gas tank. And given the way it sticks out a bit, it gives enough clearance for you to be able to turn the cab as normal when Optimus is making those tight turns with his trailer on. Add in the blast effects and you have one amazing Mad Max looking Optimus, perfect for recreating the feel and aesthetic from the Skybound comic. Comparison wise, SS86 and MD-005 are exact replicas in this mode as well. I still can't believe I have two fully complete SS86 Optimuses now without breaking the bank. This image showcases the shinier silver a lot better, otherwise it's a no for no copy. MD-005 also generally has the same highlights like around the lights, with the ones on the top of the cab being a bit more cartoony looking. The kit also comes with the extra side windows you can place on the doors as well. Similar to his bot mode, you get a nice updated, more premium finish with MD-005 right at the top blue flap that connects with the actual driver's compartment, which is cleaner with no gaps. Another bonus, I can't believe how many there are in fact. The wheels on MD-005 are a shiny plastic, not painted on silver, with actual rubber tires, just like G1 Optimus. Now that's a premium finish. And finally, another small bonus accessory, this fan intake you can use to fill in the gap left behind in the transformation between his arms. Not sure if I'd have preferred a red version or even black or silver, but I guess this is realistic and is arguably better than a gap. It is a bit loose, so it can fall out if you're playing with the figure, but it's an easy fix by adding some clear nail polish to thicken up the sides a bit. Close up of the trailers, again exactly the same, mold, color, design, and all. Same great detail on the back doors as well, and painted on taillights for both. Both also have the exact same mechanism for holding up the trailer without the cab, though I forgot to put down the main legs on the MD-005 version in this shot. Rest assured, it's there. And because they're identical, you can add the Studio Series 86 trailer to your MD-005 one, so that you get the benefit of the Autobot symbol. Really, no way from just looking at it to tell this isn't the SS86 I'm using here. The interiors and mechanism for opening the trailers up are also exactly the same, though my version has the rotating portion of the stabilizers attached slightly higher, which means the trailer sides don't sit flush with the legs, which you can see here on the right. Otherwise, all is good. Same molds, details, accessories, connectors, everything. Both come with a silver roller, though it would have been fun to get a blue one with MD-005. I much prefer the laser effects and acts that come with MD-005 though. I like the clear and stronger plastic they used with no bending tips. Since MD-005 is an exact copy of Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, you can check out my full two-part spotlight and review of the SS86 figure, including the step-by-step transformation at this link or as linked below. All my main display and build ideas specific to Studio Series 86 are also included as part of my SS86 Optimus Spotlight, but I have a few more fun ones I've included here specific to the MD-005 release, which I think you'll enjoy. One of the most obviously fun ones is of Starscream taking off Optimus's mask as he did in the G1 episode Megatron's Master Plan. Easy to replicate here by using the head of Optimus as a mask. One of the main scenes from this part of the episode has the other Decepticons starting to take off their masks as well, with Starscream already having pulled his off. So you can actually recreate that exact scene like I've done here with Ratchet and Wheeljack. Another fun out of the box one is of Starscream sitting on his throne still disguised as Optimus. Not something you would typically see, as Optimus would never do this, but works here with Starscream as Optimus, and really cool to see how well this mold works with the throne. Of course, Megatron would never stand for that, and all of Starscream's shenanigans would eventually catch up with him. Using Starscream's head like this is a perfect ending befitting a scheming traitor like Starscream. Looks even better using the extra Starscream head as a decoration for Megatron's throne, Starscream never again being too far away from Megatron's line of sight. I really love this idea since it gives you an extra way to use that extra Starscream head that comes with MD-005 and makes for a perfect display. Finally, now having both SS86 Megatron and SS86 Optimus, we can recreate this iconic scene from the 86 movie, adding in the damaged face of Optimus here to complete the look. For this shot, I just used the blast effect to recreate the damage on Optimus's side. Though with the MD-005 damaged side plate, you can skip the effect and show the actual damage similar to the scene in the movie. As for some recreations from the Skybound Transformers comic run, just take off Optimus's arm, push back in the connector, and you have a perfect replica of Optimus from that storyline, which you can further build on by adding in additional bots as seen from various panels in the book. I'd have to say this is my favorite though from the Skybound story, Optimus taking on Devastator using both his laser as well as Megatron's fusion cannon. SS86 Devastator is amazing, and the more I can use him in displays, the better. I used the stand comic book Shockwave came with that typically holds Optimus' severed head flipped upside down to create a small platform to give this shot a bit more visual depth. Makes for a great secondary use for displays like this. If any of you have any other ideas using accessories in innovative ways like I've done here, we'd love to hear about them in the comments section. And finally, using that same display with all the Optimus heads MD-005 came with as a makeshift display for the heads rather than keeping them locked away somewhere. So that's it for this week's Spotlight, technically my third focusing on Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. What did you guys think about this KO version, and would you consider getting it as your main Optimus or even as a second backup? Thanks for joining me on this week's Transformers journey, a lot more coming up, so if you enjoyed this Spotlight and want to see more, be sure to subscribe and hit notify so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching, and remember, it's all such heroic nonsense in the end.
Transform!